Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. And as you can see with the title and the thumbnail, today is going to be all about down the farm, all the action, the beautiful action, the Dodgers minor league system. Last night, of course, we had the long show last night with Austin. What a great job Austin did there. That was a whole lot of fun there. I got pretty fired up and had a good time on that live show last night, and we had a great crowd. I want to thank everybody for tuning in last night, so thank you so much for that. Today, I cannot be more excited. I was kind of going back and forth. Should I just put a down the farm video out? Or, hey, let's go live and talk about our babies together, right? So I decided to do this thing together. So a lot of good action. Of course, Tulsa was postponed yesterday, but Oklahoma City, they got their bats rolling. Emil Morales had a big day for Ontario, the Tower Buzzers. So did Jiren Elkins. Jiren Elkins had a big day as well. He had an infield base hit and a double down the right field line. Nico Perez has a grand slam for the Great Lakes Loons. Jackson Ferris had a mixed bag results yesterday, so we're going to go all the way through it. Suwinski also had another big day for AAA Oklahoma City. We'll cover that as well. Austin Gauthier went 2 for 3. Gator had a good day for AAA Oklahoma City. Ryan Fitzgerald, the Quad A alert there, Quad A focus or radar there, if you will. Fitzgerald went 1 for 6. Eliezer Alfonso, catcher there, went 1 for 3. Ferris, 3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. And then you had a whole slew of relievers. Garrett McDaniels, a lefty we'll get into here in a minute. He got the win, 1 2/3 innings. And Jordan Weems, Carlos Duran. Nick Frasso had an appearance yesterday. Chase McDermott finished it up for AAA Oklahoma City. Again, Tulsa didn't play. And then Nico Perez had the big grand slam for Great Lakes. In Lake County, a huge series for the Loons there. Logan Wagner had a couple of hits as well. Charles Davelin went 2 for 3. He had a big day. Mike Sirota, the Mike Sirota watch, 1 for 3. Eduardo Quintero, 1 for 5. Jacob Frost, the lefty out of K-State, was big on the mound. Dylan Figueredo had a couple of innings pitched, scoreless. Emil Morales, we'll get into him. Justin Chambers, they went scoreless as well. And then Ontario, we talked about Emil Morales having a big night. Jiren Elkins, Chase Harlan also had a hit. Ching Shin Ko, he went 1 for 5 last night after his big night on Tuesday. AJ Soldier, the big lefty out of Seton Hall, he went 1 for 3. And Myro Martinez had a couple of hits as well. Cam Leiter started. It's been a slow start for Cam. He gave up 2 runs in 2 innings. Mason Estrada, he threw 3 innings scoreless, so good outing for Mason Estrada. Going to get a little bit more into him, probably not on this episode, but on later episodes. Ricardo Montero, Willians Herrera, Will Gagnon, and Seamus Barrett. Seamus Barrett actually gave up 3 runs in the last inning and by the time that the Tower Buzzers had a big lead, but almost gave the lead up there. So Seamus Barrett, a really good pitcher, was injured last year and coming back and is off to somewhat of a slow start for the Tower Buzzers. But hey, let's actually get into the video of the action yesterday. Let's dive into Jackson Ferris here. Jackson Ferris definitely 100% a kind of a mixed bag deal. Now, keep in mind, this young man is still young, and he also had a very slow start last year. And to be honest with you, this year has been pretty slow starting for him as well. Yesterday, 3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, no strikeout, no walks, 1 strikeout, 36 strikes, and 53 pitches. He's kind of the Justin Robo thing here. This is kind of more proof of this is kind of a plan. Less swing and miss, trying to hone in on the execution. I mean, the fastball's like 91, 92, 93. We know that he can touch the 95, 96. So less swing and miss for Jackson Ferris. The trade-off is the strike throwing is getting better. So what you're seeing is a calibration and a recalibration of Jackson Ferris in the journey of defining what the best version of Jackson Ferris could look like. Four seam, again, just 91.9. He topped at 93.8. We know that Jackson Ferris can hit 95, 96. Slider was in the mid-80s range, and it had a 40% called strike whiff rate. So the slider got good swing and miss. It's just the fastball that's not right now. So for Ferris on the year, 7.65 ERA. That's not pretty. I understand that, right? Okay, but again, keep in mind he got off to a slow start last year. His whip is 205. Opponents are hitting 342. So obviously just the focus on execution hasn't been perfect for him to this point, with a batting average against as high as 342. And there's been 14 walks in 20 innings. So right now he's kind of got the worst of all worlds. He doesn't have the stuff plus going for him. He doesn't have the velo going for him. And the execution hasn't been there as well, with 14 walks in 20 innings. So there's just no other way to put it other than Jackson Ferris is off to a slow start. He got off to a slow start last year. He finished strong, and also the PCL is a very difficult league to pitch in. So no real, in my opinion, long-term concerns for Jackson Ferris. I think you should be concerned that he did start slow last year. I think you should be concerned that his velo's down, and that's combined with not necessarily improved execution. But he's only 22 years old. So when I say that, I don't want to say it in a way that is much too alarming, because this guy's very talented. He's still very young, and I still think he's executing a plan in place to actually improve execution. It's not quite hit yet, and I think as he goes on, he will. So I'm not overly worried about it. We'll move on now to the first reliever yesterday, and this is Garrett McDaniels. Look at that big breaking ball that turns right, combined with his sinker that turns left. Remember, Garrett McDaniels, before the 2025 season, was Rule 5'd to the Angels, actually made his Major League debut with the Angels. So this is a lefty in Garrett McDaniels that has Major League experience. Yesterday, 1 2/3 innings, no runs, no hits, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. On the year, Garrett McDaniels, 3.0 ERA, so a straight-up 3 ERA, 11 appearances, 12 innings pitched, 3-1 record. So Garrett McDaniels is stringing some good outings together again for AAA Oklahoma City. So it's good to see him, with that bullpen depth, especially from the left-handed side. Good to see Garrett McDaniels is sticking with it. He's always had quite a bit of success. He's always been somewhat overlooked. We'll see how long that lasts, but Garrett McDaniels, good to see him having a good outing yesterday for AAA Oklahoma City. And then obviously, talking about a good day, how about James Tibbs III? How about a 4 for 5er yesterday, right? Let me actually get to his video of yesterday. I'm having a hard time finding his video actually from yesterday, and I want to make sure and show you all 4 of his hits. But James Tibbs III yesterday, 4 for 5. Actually, here we go, right here. This is James Tibbs III right here. 4 for 5, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, a stolen base. Raised his season average OPS to 1052. James Tibbs III, 1052 OPS. 13 doubles, 11 home runs in 34 games, and one of his doubles left the bat at 107.6. So batting average of 289 for James Tibbs III, 1052 OPS, 4 for 5 yesterday with a couple of doubles. So a great day for James Tibbs III yesterday. No doubt about that. And again, Tulsa did not play. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move up or move down, whichever way you want to look at that, to the high A Great Lakes level. And I want to draw your attention to the starting pitcher yesterday for the Great Lakes Loons. The Loons are in Lake County, and this is a really, really big series for them, as Austin did such a great job yesterday of explaining. This is a young man, hear me now, believe me whenever you want, Jacob Frost. He is a dude. This guy's stuff is really good. His fastball rides really well. His breaking balls are good. The command's not always great. So it's another one of these guys that has really good stuff. You're going to have to make sure and refine the command. But Jacob Frost, I'm telling you, this young man out of K-State, he is 1,000% legit. I'm just telling you, this guy's really good. 2.81 ERA on the year For Jacob Frost, 22 strikeouts, 16 innings pitched. Opponent batting average against Jacob Frost is just 170, a 113 whip, and a 1238 strikeouts per nine. So the strikeout numbers are good, and the arsenal is really, really hard to hit. So he strikes a lot of guys out, and then whenever a guy does see that right there, that's just a professional hitter really not even seeing the ball very well. See how that fastball gets on top of the hitter, and they're very surprised with that. So the fastball is hard to hit to begin with, and then once the hitters do hit it, it's just really impossible to get it off the barrel. So batting average against, again, of 171, 19 strikeouts. And then also Jacob Frost is known for being able to get out of jams. He does really great work when it matters the most. His ERA so far this year is his batting average against so far this year with runners in scoring position is just 125. 125 at batting average against with runners in scoring position. And so, hey, electric stuff with these guys in the system. There's a lot of them. Walk rate is what you have to watch, obviously. 9 walks in 16 innings pitched. So it's the control command thing for Jacob Frost. That's the focus for him. That's what we need to continue to monitor for him. And so we'll keep doing that. But I'm telling you, the stuff is there. He's very good. So definitely put Jacob Frost on your list of guys to follow. And let's see if he can't get that walk rate down. Let's see if he can't become more efficient. And let's see if we can't, be efficient and explosive at the same time. And going back to the AAA level, I actually glossed over Jack Suwinski. My man, I keep saying this, but I'm going to release his interview here in a couple of hours. Yesterday, Suwinski 3 for 3, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and Suwinski reached base 5 times. And that's huge because Jack Suwinski's always been a guy that's been a good defender. He can play center field. He can do all the things the Dodgers actually need in a role player. The one thing that he's always done, though, is struck out a lot and hit a lot of home runs. So to see the gathering the hits part of the game for Jack Suwinski with 3 for 3 yesterday and reaching base 5 times. So he's gathering base hits and he's taking his walks. He's hitting .306 right now, OPS 1045, and he has been very hot. Since April 28th, Jack Suwinski, he got off to a slow start, but since April 28th, Jack Suwinski is 10 for 20. He has 3 home runs. He has an on-base percentage of .500 and an OPS of 1250. Jack Suwinski is hot in every different which way that you could possibly want him to be. And it's not just the power and the strikeouts. He's getting on base. He's gathering hits. And for all of that, that's exactly the process that the Dodgers were wanting to see for him whenever he came over. So super excited about what Jack Suwinski is doing right now at AAA Oklahoma City. He's really just kind of reaching every benchmark that he could have possibly set out for himself once he entered the Dodgers system as far as trying to become a part of a world championship team. And hey, this is a guy that a lot of people don't know about, but he's really good. He had a really good year last year. He's started off really good this year. And this is Nico Perez. Yesterday, he had a grand slam in the first inning for Great Lakes. And again, against Lake County. There was no video of it, so this is the best video I can give you of Nico Perez. He also hit a home run later in the game and had a couple of hits. And he's hitting now, Nico Perez is .330 on the year, OPS 992. And he has hits in 3 games in a row. So Nico Perez, a catcher prospect, really, really, really underrated offensive player. No doubt about that. So let's keep our eye on Nico Perez. Just, hey, kind of throw Nico Perez in your Rolodex, if you will, and keep checking back in with him because he's that guy that's massively underrated. Not a very big guy. He can obviously hit some home runs, but that's not necessarily his game. His game is gathering base hits. But he is very, very good at hitting the baseball and gathering hits. So let's keep an eye on him. And let's see how he progresses as he moves forward. So Nico Perez had a really good game yesterday, and so did Logan Wagner. Let me get to Logan Wagner here. Logan Wagner is hitting right around 300 on the year. The power numbers, actually, I'm having a hard time getting to him. The power numbers for Logan Wagner right here. There's some Logan Wagner video. The power for Logan Wagner, he is already halfway to his home run totals from last year, and we're not even a quarter of the way through 2026. Logan Wagner, a switch hitting first and third baseman type. He's had to play some second base. I know we covered him yesterday, but I wanted to cover Logan Wagner again. He had a couple of hits yesterday for the Great Lakes Loons, and so I wanted to make sure and cover the fantastic work that he is doing and just kind of remind fans of how talented he is and the type of good start that he is off to. So that's Logan Wagner right there. And let's go back to the pitching for the Great Lakes Loons, and let's talk about a big dude, a really big dude that had a good day yesterday. And this is Dylan Figueredo. Dylan Figueredo. Boy, I can say that 5 times real fast. 23-year-old right here. You're seeing Figueredo. 23-year-old, 2 scoreless innings, and a 7-1 win over Lake County. That was a lot of fun. Huge series for the captains. Figueredo, just 1 hit. He struck out 3, stranded a runner in the third, at third in the 6th inning with a punch out of Luke Hill, which was a lot of fun to watch. That helped lock down the win for the Loons. 8 appearances for Figueredo on the year, 2.60 ERA, 20 strikeouts, and a whip of just 0.87. So efficiency, 17.1 innings, 20 strikeouts, whip of 0.87, and opponents are hitting just 197 off of Dylan Figueredo. So really great start for Dylan. He's already gotten promoted up to High A Great Lakes. So let's keep an eye out on him, and let's make sure that we kind of put him somewhere in the back of the Rolodex, because this is a really good pitcher that has the ability to execute and then also has explosive enough stuff to get more than 1 strikeout per inning. And you talk about absolute treasure trove of talent. Let's move our way down now to Single A. I'm going to always say Rancho Cucamonga, and especially because this week the Tower Buzzers, the Ontario Tower Buzzers, are actually in Rancho Cucamonga. Believe it or not, the Tower Buzzers are in Rancho Cucamonga, where their home was last year, and they're playing the Quakes, who are now in red instead of blue, and the Quakes are no longer in the Dodgers system. So it's just really weird to see the Quakes at Quake Stadium, but yet they're the opponent. There's Jiren Elkins right there, because now the Dodgers Single A affiliate is the Ontario Tower Buzzers. And who you're seeing right here is Jiren Elkins. And what I really like about what you're seeing with Elkins here is, hey, we know the talent is there with Elkins. There's no doubt about that. Jiren Elkins has as high of a ceiling of any prospect in probably all of baseball, not just the Dodgers. So just kind of to give you an example, he led the California League in home runs and stolen bases. He had 65 stolen bases last year. So just the dynamics of it, when you lead a league in both home runs and stolen bases, that just goes to show you how explosive your tools are. So the strikeout rate is enormous still for Jiren Elkins. He's still swinging and missing a lot. So I say that not to be critical, but I say that to say and make the point that this was a really good game for Elkins, because this game shows that he does have the ability to raise his floor. So on the games where you're not hitting home runs, or the games that aren't perfect, just flip a breaking ball down the right field line instead of swinging, missing, and then just do this right here. Just hit a ground ball, use your speed, and beat it out. If Jiren Elkins, see that breaking ball, flip it the other way. If Jiren Elkins will just do more of that, just take your hits, don't try to do too much, hit breaking balls the other way, put the ball in play, use your speed, what will happen to Jiren Elkins is he will raise his floor, and once he raises his floor, now he's a ridiculously great prospect, because we know the ceiling is already very, very, very tall for him. So I love this game yesterday for Jiren Elkins. I enjoyed watching him hit the ball the other way on a breaking ball, just like he did. I enjoyed watching him use his speed on a ground ball. And by the way, I've got a couple of more prospects we're going to cover. If you have anybody that you want to cover in the system, let me know. We'll cover them whenever I get done with my couple that I have coming up here. Emil Morales is next, so leave that in the chat. If there's somebody you want me to cover, we can definitely do that, because this entire show is 100% dedicated to the action that was down on the farm yesterday, or any time throughout this season, or any player that you want to cover. So let me know who that would be if there is somebody that you want me to cover. And this is Emil Morales. First of all, I want to back this up. I'm going to stop it. Okay, see this right here? Yellow work gloves. I've seen that many times before. When you will use yellow work gloves and you stick out like that, you better be good. You better be ready to back that one up, because I'm telling you, the other team's dugout, the first thing they see are those yellow work gloves. And they're like, oh, this dude thinks he's good, huh? So you have put a target on your back when you wear yellow work gloves, looking batting gloves like that. So how about backing it up? Emil Morales with 2 doubles and 3 hits yesterday. And just like Jiren Elkins, how about the double down the right field line and then a double to right center? Again, right here. Here's the double to right center. Using the big part of the field, not trying to do too much. And then another thing, I want to back this up. Watch this first hit here. Okay, look how easy that is. I mean, it looks like he barely swung. Watch where this ball ends up. I mean, that ends up off the top of the wall on a swing to where it looks like Emil Morales was maybe at 50% throttle. I mean, maybe. So at 50% throttle, he's able to hit a ball that far and that hard. This swing, too, there's not doing too much. He's staying within himself, whatever term you want to use. I'm going to say that's maybe a 60 to 70% throttle for Emil Morales. Watch how easy that is. I mean, just barely swinging, and it goes off the top of the wall. So that goes to show you a couple of things. With Emil, what I've said many different times is whenever he goes into slumps or whatever, slump's probably not the right word, but whenever he goes through his patches, it's because his swing gets too big, it gets too long, it gets too loopy. He starts going around the ball. So the direct path of going the opposite field there, that tells you he's not going around the ball. Then also his swing gets too big at times. So he has learned in this process how to cut his swing down some. And you can see here, he doesn't have to just swing out of his shoes to have power. And so when he does that, you would think that would create consistency for him. And I think it definitely has. So 2 doubles yesterday, both to the opposite field, one actually to right field, the other to the opposite field gap. And again, 3 hits in total for Emil Morales. So that was a whole lot of fun. And then finishing things up was a young man that has, kind of like a lot of these other guys, a lot of strikeout stuff. He reminds me a lot of maybe a Christian Brubeck at this point in his career. We went over Brubeck yesterday, and that is Will Gagnon. Will Gagnon's a young man out of the Fresno area, and I want you to watch this funky delivery. So I want you to notice, too, how well he hides the ball. I might have to slow this down. But see right there, as a hitter, that ball is actually behind his back. And then let me slow this down so we can get a better look at this and really get just to see how hard it is for a hitter to pick up the baseball. Right here. See, it's still hidden. Okay, it is still hidden, and it's still hidden to the hitter, and then all of a sudden it just comes out like a bullet. I mean, you just can't see that ball, and you see the hitter right there reacting like, I never saw that. Wow, and that's a pitch right down the middle that a professional hitter really looked confused on. So I just think the deception, first of all, again, watch this windup. There's a lot of funk to this windup. There's a lot of funk to the delivery. And because of that, it's hard for hitters to see that, pulling off the ball, just hard to see. And because of that, Will Gagnon has had a really good time at getting swing and miss. His problem, though, that little fastball, slider, curveball mix that he has is like all of these other guys. It is keeping the ball in the strike zone. So 16 strikeouts in 11 innings for Will Gagnon. ERA of 3.27. Average against of just 179. Slider, fastball, curveball. When he is in the zone, Will Gagnon is really, really good. And you're probably like, who in the heck is that? I mean, look at that high-riding fastball. Keep an eye on Will Gagnon. I really like Will Gagnon. I think he has a really good chance of being a really, really good pitcher for the Dodgers in the system. So, hey, that's all I have to cover for the minor leagues. Again, the 4 affiliates are in action. I believe Great Lakes has a doubleheader today. Tulsa might as well. I'd have to check that. I'd love to have a watch party with the minor league affiliates, but I've got to go broadcast some state playoff games here in Oklahoma. So let's get to some of the comments here. Al Minerva was convinced Sheehan would be taken off starting rotation on Blake's return. Looking like Glass now taking his union injury break. That's kind of funny. I think that's a fair comment to make there. Al Minerva, since Sheehan has an obvious dip in velocity, a DP 6.341 Morales needs to be at high A ASAP. I agree. Emil is very special, no doubt about that. He's always going to have swing and miss concerns. Hopefully he turns that into a chip on his shoulder like Pa has and works on having a good contact tool. Chuck Huddleston, thank you so much for joining. Elkins looked good when I saw him in person at the Tower Buzzers game on Saturday. Treasure trove of tools. No doubt about that for Jiren Elkins. Yes, Chuck is a real one, no doubt about that. Al Minerva, confession time. Chris Sale is my favorite left-handed pitcher. For a while, it was Snell when he was a Ray, but not anymore. A shame we don't trade for savages like Miller, Sale, Crochet, etc. Brady Smith looked good pitching on Saturday as well. Yes, a young man out of Tennessee. I have a couple of interviews with him, so we'll get some coverage on Brady Smith as we go on. But it was good to see the Dodgers break out yesterday. It's good to have the day off. Atlanta Braves coming into town. That's going to be super exciting. I can't wait. Hey, it's one thing to beat the Astros, who aren't that great. We talked about all the different trends. I think it's going to be exciting to see. Another thing, I think this is a valid point, too, that, we'll get to a couple thoughts, and I got to get out of here in a couple of minutes. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a meeting, and if there's anybody in here that wants to join, now that I have all my coverage over, I got about 10 minutes left. So let me open up a meeting here, maybe a little bit less than 10 minutes to go. And so if you want to hop into the show, let me put this link in the chat. It will be audio only. And so there we go. No, let's not do that. Let's do this right here. On 1 second, I'm going to have to rejoin this because I just messed up. Okay, here we go. Let's copy that and let's paste this and then let's click. If you want to join the meeting, there it is. You got a couple of more minutes. I got a couple of talking points. I think it's legitimate to say that the Dodgers team, they get excited when they play the better teams. We've seen that I don't know how many times in the last couple of years where the Dodgers have been, I don't want to say scuffling, but just kind of feels like they're just treading water and moving along a little bit at a slow pace and just kind of clicking days off the calendar, if you will. And then they go play a Phillies or they go play a Mets or they go play a Braves, a team that's really good and a really charged environment, and it wakes them up. So I'm really hoping that happens to Teo. Freddie Freeman, by the way, in his last 7 games has been really good. I'm really hoping that the Dodgers, they capitalize on the 12 runs they scored yesterday on Houston. You almost wish you would play the next day after scoring 12 runs, but the off day comes at a good time. I'm hoping they capitalize off of that 12 runs that they scored yesterday, and then also I'm hopeful that just the fact that it's the Atlanta Braves coming to Los Angeles, I'm really hopeful that just kind of gets their attention, if you will, and then we see the best version of the Dodgers all weekend. We've seen LA do that in the past many different times. hopefully that will happen again. So, all right. That's going to have to do it for me today. That's all I got time for at lunch. Again, I had the choice of I could either pre-record a Down the Farm segment or I could come live and talk to all you wonderful Dodgers dogs. So I decided to come live. And so that's going to be the end of today's show. Actually, we've got a guest right here. I've got about 2 minutes, Chuck. How's it going, my man? Thank you so much for joining. I got about 2 to 3 minutes here. What's up, man?
I just thought I'd jump in and say hi. You had a couple minutes. I did go to the game on Saturday. I think there was only 6 total hits in the game, so there wasn't a lot of action, a lot of pitching. The Tower Buzzers had about 4 line drives that the outfielders made shoe top catches on, so it was kind of but it was good to get in there and actually see the new stadium. It's a beautiful place. I didn't get your hat, though. My wife goes, "Did you get Casey's hat?" And I go, "Oh, crap, I had my kids with me, and they had us go out the side gate at the end of the game."
Awesome.
I said, "I'll have to make another trip and get you
awesome.
one." But that was fun. Brady Smith looked good. I don't get seats in the right field line, though, because you look right into the sun for about 6 innings, so that was kind of difficult.
Yeah. So take us to the stadium a little bit more. Tell us about it.
Well, the murals are just fantastic. Valenzuela over there, and then we had some ice creams. That's about the cheapest thing at the stadium, but it was really good. And they have the bomber in the center field that if they hit a home run, which they didn't hit a home run. I tell you, those fences are high there, though. It's kind of it's a unique place. You can sit on the lawn and watch the game. Yeah. Has a lot of great food.
Do you feel like you're at Dodger Stadium, just smaller? I think we lost Chuck there. We'll see if Chuck hops back in. If not, we'll have to call today right there. I don't know what happened to Chuck. We just lost him there for a second. So we'll probably. Oh, there he is. Hey, Chuck, do you feel like you're at Dodger Stadium, but just in a smaller place? Well, I don't think we have him still. So, all right, we're gonna have to. I think we're going to have to end it right there. So that's going to be the end of today's show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You wonderful Dodgers dogs are the absolute best. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in last night. So until next time, which will be tomorrow, hopefully with Coach Holt, thank you again for tuning in. And as always, hey, there's Chuck right there. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like you're at Dodger Stadium but at a smaller place?
It doesn't riff like Dodger Stadium, but it's a unique experience. It's a great place.
Do you think it could hold a AAA team?
I haven't been in AAA park, so I'm not sure. But it's a nice facility. What's usually attendance at a AAA park? How many seats?
And the weekend, probably 7,000 to 8,000.
Yeah, it'd hold that. There's a lot of stuff for like high-end stuff, though, like for people with a lot of money. There's like luxury boxes and stuff like that. It's kind of catered to like a lot of high-end people too, but it's a beautiful place, that's for sure.
Hey, Chuck, I got to get out of here. I got to get back to work. My lunch break is over. So any final thoughts here before we get out?
Not too much. I just hope they play up to the competition against the Braves, and they may. They'll have something to engage the team. So they need to start kicking it up a little bit, but they're in their mundane stage right now.
Yeah, they are.
I think.
Yeah. So, ebbs and flows, man. They're in one of those lulls right now, no doubt. Just kind of one of those parts of the season you probably won't even remember 3 or 4 months from now. So
that's right.
Hey, Chuck, appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
See ya.
Have a great day.
Hey,
okay,
you wonderful Dodgers dogs, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, never forget, it's a great day to be a Dodger.